Hey, hello everyone. This is the part one of the video series Automation Testing using Selenium with C Sharp. My name is Abhiguptaqa, and to give you more brief about me, I'm a QA professional with more than 5 years of experience in designing, implementing, and enhancing the test automation frameworks and in agile environments. And at the same time, I also have experience in training and coaching individuals and helping them in developing the framework from scratch. So this video is regarding developing the automation framework in Visual Studio with Selenium. And let's just know how step by step you can create the framework. And at the end of this video series, you will be able to develop a page object model framework with Selenium in Visual Studio. So let's see the agenda for today's video. So here we will learn how to create a new project in Visual Studio. Then we'll set up the Selenium with C Sharp here, and then we followed by setting up the Selenium with the NUnit framework. All right, moving ahead. So these are some prerequisite that I wanted you guys should follow before jumping on the directly implementing the framework and in the Visual Studio. So first you download and install the Visual Studio 2019 Community Edition. I suggest you to download the Community Edition as it is free for students, open source contributors, and any individual who want to practice and implement solutions in the Visual Studios. All right. So once it is done, you will see that it will show you this kind of window where you can choose what platform basically you need in your Visual Studio. So here I have marked as .NET Core cross-platform development. So today video is regarding like how we can develop a Selenium framework in .NET Core. As you know, like Microsoft has now uh, launched new environments and new platform, which is the latest version is 3.1. So here we will be using the .NET Core 3.1 framework to develop our Selenium suite. So once it is installed, you can verify the framework version like that get installed on your machine by using this command .NET space hyphen hyphen version, and it will display the installed version on your machine. If you are using a Mac, you can use a terminal and type the same command on your Mac and then just press enter. All right, so let's just move to the Visual Studio and see how you can create a basic test and create a basic project and the NUnit framework in the Visual Studio. Okay. So once it is installed and all the packages get installed on your machine, you will see whenever you open this app from here, you will see this window come up. Here you will see an option to clone a repository, open a project, open a local folder, or create a new project. Since here we are going to create a new project from scratch, so let's choose this option as create new project. Yep. So here you will see that you will get all the project template that you have recently used. So maybe in your case, if you are using this application or software for the first time, you will not see this section, but you will see a category and the list of all the projects that you can create in the Visual Studio. So since we are going through with the C Sharp language, so you can choose C Sharp from here. And since this is a Windows platform, so I have choose Windows. And all the project types, like what type of project you want to create, you can select from here. So let's just start with creating a basic application in Selenium. So I have choose here as console application. So if I choose and click next, so it will now ask me for the project name, solution name, and my location of the project. So let's just give a demo app application, and you see that the solution name is also come as same. So let's just keep it the same. It doesn't matter like, but if you wish to have it different one, you can do that as well. If I click next, yep. So here it will ask for the target version, target framework. So by default, sometimes you know guys, like you might seen like it is 3.1 is not available on your machine. So what you can do, you can simply go to Microsoft site and download the SDK for the .NET Core 3.1. You can also see I have this option also available .NET 5.0. current. So we can also choose this and develop our framework in the current version. But let's just start with the 3.1 as it is a long-term supported version and with the .NET Core, and let's just use it for now. And if I click on create, so this is creating my first project, which is a console application in the Visual Studio. You see, like all the like it has automatically created this class program.cs, and it has this dependencies created where it has a framework of .NET Core. So if I say this, you'll see that the .NET Core app is present here. Now what we need to set up the Selenium here, like, and before that, since it is a console application, so you can simply click on this. It will run your app and it will print this message on your console. So let me just show you how that works. I simply click on it. It is running. Yep. So here you will see the message hello world printed. So that's done. So this is how the console application works. And let's just now set up the Selenium here. So to set up Selenium, what we need some dependencies here. And since you see this dependencies available here, and if I right click on this, it will show me this pop-up, and I can simply select the manage NuGet package manager. So here you have multiple options like adding other project reference, other shared project reference, but we are setting up it for the first time and from the scratch. So you can choose the package, NuGet package manager. Okay. And since we don't have any installed packages, so I can go to browse and I can search for Selenium. And as soon as I search Selenium, it provides me a variety and a list of options that I can download the package. But what we need a Selenium WebDriver. All right. So Selenium WebDriver basically help us to, act as a intermediator to communicate with the browser. So we download this one. So it is started restoring the packages in my folder. This might take some time, and because if it is starting setting up for the first time. Yep. So you see that all these packages are coming with this selenium.webdriver, and once I click on accept, it get installed on my machine. Yep, you see it's installed now. It just an uninstall option is coming, and you see like a package group is also created in under the dependencies folder, and sorry, under the dependencies tab, and here we have the selenium.webdriver get installed. Similarly, I also download the install this Selenium support because it provide me the classes that I needed to for the Selenium WebDriver to communicate with my browser. So it does also get installed very quickly. And now guys, we need a browser where we can run our test. So with browser I need, like, it is not like the physical browser, or because I already have a Chrome browser installed on my machine. Here I need a driver, like a browser driver, that so that I can use that to run my test. So let's search for Chrome, and it will give me a Selenium WebDriver Chrome driver. So you see you have other like list of options that are uh, used for Chrome, but here we will go with the maximum number of downloads that have. So it is getting installing and it gets installed there. So our basic setup is done. So now you see like you have all these three dependencies that are needed to set up a Selenium in your project. So this is done, and let's just create a basic test now with Selenium. So let's comment this line. And so what we need to do first, as I mentioned, like we need to set up a reference for our web driver. So let's create a reference for a web driver that is specific to your browser. Like if you want to run your test on Firefox browser, you can search for Firefox driver. If you want to run your test on Chrome, so you can create a reference for the Chrome driver. All right, so it is specific to your browser. So how I create it? So I just create the iWeb driver equals to new Chrome driver. Okay, so you see some red lines are coming, and if I go to the suggestions, so it will ask me to use this openqa.selenium. So I simply double click on it, and it create a reference here. Similarly for Chrome driver, if I click on this, and it give me an option to use this, so I can have this import done, and I can simply use these classes now. Okay, and now what we need to do is we need to launch like our site on the Chrome driver. So let's pass the URL of your site. How you can pass it? You can simply use driver dot, and here it will give you an options like what you can use. So we have this one navigate option which we can use. Also, let's see other one. So we have this URL option as well available in the C sharp, right? So I simply use URL, and if I do equals to, and then just pass a string here. So let's do our first basic test on Amazon. Mm, so I search for Amazon site and copy this URL and paste it here. Done. So this will, when I run this test, it will launch the Amazon in my Chrome browser, right? And now what we need, guys, we need to uh, do some more actions on the page, like, and before do any action, we need to find what action, on what element we need to do action, right? So let's say I want to search for like what common right now is a sanitizer. So let's say I want to search a sanitizer in the search box. So first I need to get the path of this search box, right? So I do inspect element, and you see I have this ID available for this search box, and ID is a best like locator. If it is unique, you can go for this, and let's just create driver dot find element, and it's by ID. By dot you have this all type of locators coming here, so I will choose ID, and then just simply pass the ID here. Okay, and we can pass this in a web element. Okay, so we have this element created with this search box, and now what I need to do, I need to pass this pass query in this element, right? So what I'll do, I use send keys, element dot send keys, and I will pass the search term is sanitizers. Getting it, guys? So we are now passing the parameter here, or maybe search term here as sanitizer, and this is basically to locate your element. And once it is done, what I need is, yep, once it is done, like it passes the value, and what I need to do, I need to, if I need to get the result, I need to click on this search. um, yep, I need to click on this search button, or I can simply press enter as well, right? So to get this element of the search, so you see I have this ID again available, or I can also use the my keys dot enter to just simply press the enter, right? So if I simply do concat keys dot enter, so it should bring the result, because when I type here and enter it, it should bring the sanitizer results. And this is it. And at last, what we just need to close my driver, and this will close the driver. The application. All right, so since this is completed, now let's see some action. As you can see in the header, we have some play button thing. So this is used to run directly my console app, right? As we have seen earlier. So if I click on it again, so it will launch the console. And once it loaded all your libraries like Selenium and Chrome drivers, as you can see, the Chrome drivers was started successfully. So the Chrome is launched. It has searched for sanitizers and it's done. So this is how we have created a Selenium test case in a console application, and we can see it's running. All right. So now let's guys moving ahead, and let me show you how you can do this in an unit framework. So to do that, we can do in the same CS file as well, but I would like to show you from the scratch, like how you can set up the NUnit framework from the start. So let's say you have this solution and let's create a new project with the NUnit setup. So if I go to add, so here you will give you an option of new project. I select this and it will bring back the same pop-up window which we have seen earlier while creating the console app. So this will now give me an option like what type of project I want to select. So you can choose test here. So you will get all the test project now. And we can create either like an unit test project directly, or we can choose the unit test project. Okay, and you can see the platform that it shows is a .NET Core. All our .NET Core. This one is on .NET Framework. So let's go ahead with the NUnit 3 test projects. So that will give us like automatically all the dependencies in this project, and we don't need to install it separately. After select, click on next, and then the project name. So earlier the project name was demo application. Let's give it as demo app with an unit framework. An unit framework, yeah. Right. And this is the project location. And this is the same .NET Core 3.1 we are targeting. Yep. So guys, you have noticed it has also created the same similar structure like earlier. It has set up a program.cs file. Now it has set up a unit test1.cs file. And you may have observed like it has set up in the uh, two more attributes like a setup and test. So these are the basically the annotations which basically identifies like which is the test method and what all are the prerequisites that need to be done before running this test method. So just to give you brief about NUnit, so NUnit is nothing but it is it's a unit testing framework for all your .NET languages. It is entirely written in C sharp, and if you guys like from some of you are from Java background, you may know like in Java we have that JUnit and TestNG sort of frameworks. So NUnit is also initially ported from the JUnit. So all sort of annotations which you found on JUnit, you can find in the NUnit as well. Let's see the dependencies here, what it brings to us. So one is the same .NET Core with version 3.1, and the other one is a package where it has bring automatically the NUnit test adapter. And guys, like if you are creating a separate project, like if you choose the unit test project in the project window, then you can add it separately as well. Like you can simply go to NuGet package, and you can go to the browse, and here you can simply search for the NUnit and press enter. It will bring back the results to you, right? So it is already been installed, and you see like the version that it has installed is 3.12. Let's just update it to the latest version, latest table 3.13.1. So I'm updating it. Let's update. Then also we have the unit and unit 3 test adapter. Let's update this as well to latest one. So NUnit basically provide you the framework, and the NUnit test adapter is basically used to run all the tests that are part of this framework. Okay, it is used basically to identify your test, right? So you must have observed that in my left hand side of this window, I have this test explorer. If you guys are not able to have this on your Visual Studio, you just simply go to this test tab, and here there is a option of test explorer. So it will open here, and if you expand it, it will give you the test name, which is actually the name of the test method. Okay, and whatever test method name you will give, it will come here. And this is a test adapter that will help you to run your test from here, right? So if I update this test method name, let's say to execute my test, mm, and if I build my solution or build the project specifically, so you see this has already been updated. Okay. So let's just get started, like how we can configure our Selenium with NUnit framework. So what you need to do, you need to repeat the same steps here. Like you can download the Selenium dependencies, which we have installed in the previous project. You can reference that project as well in your framework, but I am showing you from the scratch, like how you can do it. So this is for the demo application, I think, which it shows like already installed. Go to the dependencies, manage NuGet package, and here you will see that you have only these three as downloaded. We actually don't need this, but it automatically comes up with the project. So let's keep it here only. But if you don't download it, it doesn't impact any such functionality. I search for Selenium, then Selenium WebDriver latest version 3.1 come up. Mm, Accepting it, it's installed. Yep. And then I'm installing the selenium.support that provide the support for classes in the Selenium WebDriver. And it also gets installed, right? And then we need a Chrome driver since we are running our test cases on Chrome. If I search simply Chrome, so Chrome driver, and I'm installing it. It's installed now. So let's just close this NuGet package window, and this is our project window, and this is our unit test file. Okay, and let me rename this class as well to give some name like NUnit tests.cs. All right, so we have this class renamed. Okay, it's not renamed automatically. Let me update it manually. Yeah. So guys, now what we need to do is we need to configure our test case, which we have built in our program.cs file in a structure way. So you see, setup is what is setup basically do is like whatever you need to run before this test method, you will provide it in a setup method. Okay. So basically, if I have 5 test cases for Amazon, where like in first test case, I am verifying whether my search box is running, like whether I'm able to search for a sanitizers, and then another test case would be like verifying the results. Another test case would be adding items to cart. So I don't want to launch the Amazon and write the duplicate code in the same test method again and again. So to make it reusable, what I'll do, I will pass this driver.url thing in the setup method. All right. But right now it doesn't have the reference for driver. So what we will do, we will just copy this iWebDriver Chrome driver line and then paste it above the setup method. And why I have not write this in a setup, declare this, because I need to use it uh, in the entire class. Okay. And similar option, I choose this bulb option to get the reference for its iWebDriver. Double clicking it, and then similarly for the Chrome driver. Okay. So here, my setup method now will launch the URL. Okay. And then in our test method is actually what we are doing. We are basically locating the element and then passing the search term. Okay. So I pass this one here. And one thing is left is driver.quit. Okay. So similarly, if I don't want to repeat this for every test method that I create here, so what I'll do, I will create one more attribute, which is a tear down. So tear down basically used to clean up or perform the action that you need to run after the test method executed. Okay, so let's rename this as tear down. And what I want to do, I need to close the application now after it successfully run the test. Okay, so it will close the application. All right, so now what our test will do, it will do the same purpose it has done in the program.cs. It will search for, it will perform the search, locate the element and perform the search of sanitizers and then press enter. And then there is an assertion that automatically comes up, what assertion you need to pass. So let's run it the same way, simply from here, directly run. So now guys, this will play button will not work from here because it is now categorized into test. So you need to right click on it here and run it. So it has built it successfully, our demo app unit project, and it has launched the Chrome. So you see, it has done the same work again in a structure format. So this is how you can set up the NUnit framework for Selenium. And let just expand this scope more. For example, right now we have not, perform any assertions like whether the search I am doing is right or not. Okay. And also you have seen that our window is open in a smaller resolution. So let's open in a full screen. So how you can do it? You can simply call after it and navigate to URL. You can maximize the window. How? By driver.manage dot window dot here you will find an option as maximize. Okay. So this will maximize the window. And then what assertion you need is we want whenever I search a sanitizer. So let's go to Amazon. And these are when I search for an sanitizer, these are the list of results that come up. So what I need to do, I need to verify whether they are actual sanitizer results or not. Okay, I go to this DOM and let's get the text of all the like search results. So if I hover here, so you'll see that this is the class for all the results, right? And if I copy this and do Control F, Control V, so these are 63 results that are currently coming in the DOM. Okay, so we can create the XPath is here directly. So dot slash slash anywhere in the DOM at the rate class equals to, and then in single quotes I pass the class name. So this is the same result it brings from the XPath. And let's just create a list from all the results, right? So how you can create a list in C Sharp, we have this I list, and I want to create a list of web element. Let's give the name of list, and then we use driver dot find elements because it is a list. So now instead of find element, we will use find elements, and then we will identify this with a class. You can use directly a class as well, like by dot class and pass the class name, or simply you can use a XPath and pass the XPath that we have created here. You can directly copy here and directly paste here. Okay, so it will also able to identify your list, and it is throwing some red lines. Let me just see. Okay, it asking for the collection reference. So now we have a list of all the search results. And now what I want to do, I want to navigate to each result. And let's say in the interest of time and capacity, let's run it for only 5 results. And okay. And from 0 to 4 for top 5 results, I want that my list of I.text should bring me the search result name. Okay. What it will do, it will give me the text of the ith result in a string, and then I will do the assertion that if my search result name dot contains what it should contain sanitizer, because we have performed the search for sanitizer. If it contains sanitizer, then my test is passed. So now we don't need the second assertion because we have this genuine one. And this test case will now only pass if I search for a sanitizer and Amazon.com displays my top 5 results as that contains sanitizers. Okay, let's run this and directly I right click and then run, or maybe you can simply right click here and you will find the run test option as well. So I run from here. And we have also maximized this time. So let's see our Chrome window will maximize or not. As soon as it enters the URL, it has maximized, it performed the search, and now it has verified that all the, because our assertion is passed, that means it is able to find out that the top 5 results have the sanitizer in it. Okay. So how can we identify like whether it has verified or not? Maybe like we can fail the test, like instead of sanitizer, it shows me the result of um, let's say um, Pepsi, and I run this test again. So you see now the test has passed and it has shown like the expected true but was false because none of the result contains Pepsi in it. Okay. So this is it, guys. This is how you can create a Selenium and configure Selenium with NUnit framework. And in the upcoming video, I will let you know how you can expand this framework and design it in a more structured way, and how the industries uses a page object model. And so stay tuned with my channel and like, share, and subscribe here if you would like to notify of my upcoming videos. Okay, thank you. And please do post your comments if you have any questions, queries, or feedback for me. Thank you.